Hello everyone, welcome back. Today we are going to learn next important topic as a part of Lean Six Sigma. Thank you so much, Ilango. Thank you so much for your valuable comments. So today's topic is data analysis in Microsoft Excel. And this topic is very important specifically when you're going for the Lean Six Sigma trainings and you don't have the statistical softwares. So many times we are facing issue with the presence of statistical softwares or even in the day-to-day applications. If you know this data analysis, how we can conduct effectively into the Microsoft Excel, that is going to make your life easier, right? And as we are going to learn this topic in detail in a systematic approach, let me share you the screen and let's see what topics that we are going to see today. So as a part of this data analysis in Microsoft Excel, we are going to see this entire topic into 6 sessions. The first topic is about, I'm going to introduce you what is this data analysis and why there is a need of this data analysis into the Microsoft Excel. Second, I will also explain you how we can set up the data analysis into Microsoft Excel so that we can conduct the analysis effectively and practically into this Microsoft Excel. The third topic, I'm going to explain what are the various types of data analysis that we can perform into the Microsoft Excel. Into the fourth section, I'm going to explain how we can perform this data analysis into the Microsoft Excel with the help of practical example. So I'm going to take one example and I'm going to tell you that how we can perform the data analysis into the Microsoft Excel. After that, I'm also going to explain what is a methodology to learn this complete data analysis into the Microsoft Excel with practical examples and mentoring support. And into the last section, I'm going to take all your questions, that questions you are having related to this data analysis into the Microsoft. Is this clear to you? Great. Thank you so much. So let's start with the first point, which is introduction to data analysis in Microsoft Excel. Now, when we are talking about the data analysis in Microsoft Excel, we are specifically talking about how we can perform the analysis, data analysis into the mini tab, into the Excel by using some options. So here we are going to discuss about this analysis tool pack. Now, what is the importance of this analysis tool pack? Here, we are going to use these tools into the Microsoft Excel to develop statistical and engineering analysis. We are going to, by application of this analysis tool pack, it is going to provide us the data and parameters for each analysis. That means whatever the data that we have collected, based on the that type of data and the analysis that we want from that data, we can select multiple tools that are available into this Microsoft Excel. I'm also going to explain what are the all tools that we can perform into the Microsoft Excel, but let's understand what is this analysis tool pack. When we use this analysis toolpack tools and techniques into that, we can also calculate and display the results into output table. There are some of the tools like regression analysis where we are also getting the charts in addition to the output. So we can also generate the charts for easy interpretation in some tools. Now this is a snapshot of analysis toolpack that we can see into this Microsoft Excel. The ultimate goal of installing this analysis toolpack is to perform data analysis in Excel with output and chart. So that whatever the data that we have collected, we must do the effective analysis of it. We can draw the meaningful conclusions from it and we can take the actions on it, right? So that's why to know what are the various important tools into this data analysis pack, we must learn this data analysis in Microsoft Excel. So this is the first topic that I have explained, introduction to the data analysis in Microsoft Excel. Is it clear to you? Please use the chat box at any point of time if you are having any questions or anything that you want to include into this entire training. Great. Now the second topic is set up the data analysis in Microsoft Excel. Now the data analysis which I'm talking about, to set up that data analysis, there is a specific procedure. So let me share you the screen and explain that in detail. Okay, so this is the Microsoft Excel. And if you click on this data menu, data tab, we can see on the right hand side, there are two options coming under the analyze phase. That is data analysis and solver. And if you click on this data analysis, we can see what are the wide range of tools that we can use for the data analysis into Microsoft Excel. But the question is, are you having this data analysis option activated into Microsoft Excel? If yes, that's absolutely great. We can directly go for application of this data analysis tab. But let's say if you don't see the data analysis tab here or data analysis and solver options here, how to set up that? Okay, so for that purpose, please follow the procedure. To set up data analysis and solver options into your Microsoft Excel, please visit at the File tab. In File menu, we need to visit at Options. We need to select this option for Options. Once we click on the Options tab, then we can see the Excel options are going to be open. Here, we need to click on Add-ins. Once you click on Add-ins, then we can see there are again multiple add-ins option are going to open. Here, we are interested in Analysis Toolpack. So we need to click on this Analysis Toolpack options. Then go below and we can see there is an option for Manage. There is an option for Excel add-ins. So we can click here and click Excel add-ins. Now let me repeat you what are the options that we have selected. We have selected the File menu. Then we have gone into the Options tab. After that, we have selected this add-in. In that, we have selected this Analysis Toolpack. In Manage Add-ins, we have selected Excel add-ins. Once we have done that, please click on this Go tab. Now we can see there are 4 options are open. One is Analysis Toolpack. Second one is Analysis Toolpack VBA. Third one is Euro Currency Tools. And fourth one is Solver Add-in. At this point of time, select all of these so that we can use all these tools into the Microsoft Excel. Click OK. After clicking the OK, you will get this data analysis and solver options under the analyze phase under the data menu. If it was not earlier present, then after following this procedure, you will get this data analysis and solver both options into your Microsoft Excel. Is this procedure is clear to you? This is very important to perform the data analysis into Microsoft Excel. Is it clear? And have you got these data analysis options into your Microsoft Excel? Please type into the chat box. Great, thank you. So let's go to the third point, which is what are the various types of data analysis in Excel that we can perform. So let me share you the screen and it may explain you what are the tools that we can use into this Microsoft Excel. So there are various types of tools that we can use into the Microsoft Excel for data analysis. The first one is analysis of variance. We can also call it as ANOVA in short. This is a very popular tool and this is used to compare the means of more than 2 samples. That means we are having the data for 3 or more samples and we want to check whether there is a significant difference between the mean of all these samples. Then in that case, we are going to use the analysis of variance. I'm also going to show you with the help of one practical example how we can perform this analysis of variance into the Microsoft Excel. Now, as a part of this analysis of variance, again, there are 3 analyses that we can perform. We can perform the one-way ANOVA, that is also called as ANOVA single factor analysis. We can also perform the two-way ANOVA. It is also called as ANOVA two-factor with replication and two-factor without replication. Again, there are 2 important topics under the ANOVA. Then we can also use important statistical concepts from this data analysis. Like we can see whether there is a correlation between the multiple variables. We can also calculate covariance. What is the relative variation of the variables that we are going to compare? Descriptive statistics to understand what is the nature of data and understand all its characteristics. We can also use the descriptive statistics and we can also use the rank and percentile. So these are the important statistical metrics that we can calculate from this data analysis tab. Third one is we can also perform the regression analysis, both linear and non-linear regression analysis into this Microsoft Excel. These are giving the very beautiful output along with the data and charts. So we can easily interpret our results and we can initiate the actions based on that. We can also perform the many hypothesis test into this Microsoft Excel, like we can perform the YEP test, two sample for variances to compare two samples for their variances, whether there is a significant difference or not. We can also use the t-test to pair t-test for the means to compare what is the difference or whether there is a significant difference between the means of two samples. We can also perform the t-test for both equal variances as well as unequal variances. And we can also perform the z-test to sample for means. There is one more options that we can use for the analysis, that is graphical tools. We can also use these graphical tools to perform the data analysis into Microsoft Excel. Like we can use the scatter diagram, we can use the regression analysis, histogram, Pareto chart, and box plot. So by use of these tools, we can perform simple to moderate analysis into the Microsoft Excel, and we can have the meaningful conclusions from it. Is it clear to you up to this point? Great. Thank you so much. Now, the fourth point is we are going to see how we can perform the data analysis into the Microsoft Excel with the help of example. As I explained, I'm going to show you one-way ANOVA, that is ANOVA for single factor, how we can perform that into the Microsoft Excel. And at the same time, I will also explain how we can use the graphical tools, how we can have the box plot so that we can also compare the three samples at the same time. So in this example, we are going to learn both the important parts. First one is how to perform the one-way ANOVA, and second, how to plot the box plot. So we will be having the dual benefits into this example. So let me share you the screen and let's perform this example in front of you. Great. Can you see my screen? Yes. So this is the data for the shift and the time taken into that particular shift to handle the customer complaint. Right. So we can see we are having the 8 data points from the shift A, B data points from the shift B, and there are 8 data points from the shift C. So total 24 number of observations are there. And now we want to see whether there is a significant difference between all these shifts. That means, is there any shift that is having the ability to solve the customer complaints earlier, or there is some team or there is some problem with some team, because of that they are struggling to solve the customer query in shorter time. Now, what is the intent of this? So we can utilize this data, we can do the analysis of it, and based on that we can see whether there is a need of training to some of the shift members or not, right? So for easy understanding and I can say the analysis, I've just make this data, I just rearrange this data. So I have made all the shift A observation into one column, shift B observation into the second column, and shift C observation into third column. If you arrange this data by column wise, the analysis will be much easier, right? Now, once we rearrange this data, please go to the data analysis tab. Now we can see this is a wide range of tools that we can use, right? We can use the ANOVA, descriptive statistics, histogram, some of the graphical tools, and there are some hypothesis tests that we can perform. Now, as we are going to compare, there is a significant difference between the means of three samples, then we are going to use here as a one-way ANOVA. We are going to use the ANOVA single factor because there is only one factor we are going to compare, and that is the time to resolve the query, right? So select this option as ANOVA single factor, click OK. After that, we need to select the data, because once you click on this ANOVA single factor, the ANOVA single factor window will be opened, and here we need to provide the input for analysis. We can see the first thing is the input range. So we need to click on this arrow and we need to select the entire data that consists of the data for analysis. Make an enter. Then we need to mention our data is grouped by either rows or columns. Now, for easy analysis, I have grouped this data by column. So please select this as a group by column. Labels in the first row. If you are the first row, please check this box, and it is always recommended because we should know the analysis or the output that we are getting, that is for which variable. For that purpose, always add the rows or labels into the first row. Check on this option. And after that, there is alpha value 0.05. So that's a default value which is there. This is indicating that whatever the conclusions that we are going to make, that is with a 95% confidence level. And what is the error that we are going to make? That is 5% of error. So the alpha is related to that 0.05. Now, rather than going into the more detail of statistics, let's go to the next thing, that is the output options. We can take the output into the same worksheet, or we can have the output into the next worksheet, or we can also take this output into the new workbook, right? Now let's select this new worksheet plan and click OK. So if you click on OK, then we will be getting the output for one way ANOVA or output for ANOVA single factor. Now we can see there is a very beautiful results that are getting. First thing is a summary, in that we are having the three groups, shift A, shift B, and shift C. For each of these groups, how many number of observations we are having, that are mentioned into the column B. Count 8, 8, 8. What is the sum of all these observations, that is also mentioned. What is the average, that is also mentioned here. For easy understanding, let's make them as the same digit. So we also got what is the average, and we can also see what is the variance. Now let's come back to the point. We want to see whether there is a significant difference between the timings that the shifts people are taking to resolve the query. So for that purpose, visit this ANOVA table. In that we can see there are two sources of variation are present. One is called as a between groups and within groups. This is called as ANOVA table. I'm not going to explain what are the metrics here, but if you want to understand that, you can visit the detailed training on this correlation, regression, and ANOVA. SS stands for the sum of squares, DF stands for the degrees of freedom, MS is the mean of squares, F is the F statistics that we are going to calculate based on the data, and the important value that we are getting here is a p-value. Now, let me make it as a number. If this p-value is less than the significance level that we have selected, what is the significance level that we have selected into our data? That was 0.05, right? Now, if we are having the p-value less than 0.05, then we can see, yes, there is a significant difference between the data or variables that we are going to compare. And that is based on the comparison between this F statistics and F critical. So if you look at here, we can see, yes, there is a significant difference between the shift times. Now, if you go to the average time that every shift is taken to resolve the query, we can see shift A is taking the lesser time, 3.85. Shift B is taking more time, 4.74. And shift C is taking, I can see the moderate time, which is 4.24. Now, if you compare all three shifts, we can say shift A is having the ability to resolve the query quickly, and shift B is taking more time. So we can initiate the actions to provide the training to the shift B members, or let's investigate what is the exactly problem, and we can take the actions based on that, right? So this is a very powerful tool. If you want to compare the means of more than 2 samples, we are going to use the ANOVA, and that we can perform into this Microsoft Excel effectively. Now the next point is, many times it is really tricky to understand from the data. Can we make this output as a graphical output? Obviously, yes. So for that purpose, let me explain you one of the graphical tools, and that is the box plot. Once we plot the box plot, then we can do the easy comparison of all these 3 samples. Now, how to do that? Please follow the procedure. Go to the Insert tab. Firstly, click on this data. Then go to the Insert tab. In that, we can see there is a histogram symbol. We can see. Click on that. And below that, we are getting 2 important tools. We are getting the histogram and box and whisker plot. So click on this box and whisker plot. Once you click on that, we will be getting the very beautiful output. That means 3 samples which are grouped into 3 columns will be represented into the box plot as a 3 separate graphs, right? Or three separate box plots. So we can easily compare them and we can see, yes. So let me add the legends here so that we can have the interpretation of the results very easier. Let me select this. Yes, add here. Click on this plus symbol so we can also add the multiple chart elements. Yes, we have selected the access titles. The legends are very important that we have selected, right? Okay, so for easy understanding, also rearrange this scale. If we compare that, we can see the lowest value is around 3 and highest value is around 5.5. So we can put it here as a 3 and 5 so that we can see the graphical results easily. If you get this box plot, this is the shift A. You can see the blue color is indicating the shift A. Shift A is taking the lower time to resolve the query. If you select this orange one, that's a shift B, which is taking more time compared to the shift A and shift C, whereas shift C is taking moderate time. Now, if you compare all these three shifts data, we can see there is a significant difference between the time that every shift is taking to resolve the query. Shift A is better and shift B is taking more time to resolve the queries. At the same time, if you see the length of these box plots, we can see the length of the shift A box plot is more, indicates there is a more variation into the shift A. So also we need to investigate. That means the people from the shift A also struggling to resolve the queries because some of the people are solving the query earlier and some of the people are taking more time to resolve the queries. Again, there are other variables like what is the type of query and what are the resources or guide are available for that particular query. But ultimately, that is everything is going to help us to reach to the root cause and to initiate the actions based on that, right? We can also add the title here, like we can add here as a box plot or time, right? So we have taken the one example, and by taking that practical example, we have seen how we can perform this one-way ANOVA into the Microsoft Excel and how we can represent all the results graphically also. Okay, is this clear to you? Great, thank you so much. So I'm sure that with the help of this practical example, you got idea that how much powerful the Microsoft Excel is for the data analysis. Only need is that we must know it, we must set up this data analysis, and we must know what is application of for each and every tool into this Microsoft Excel. Now, into my training, if you want to learn this entire data analysis into the Microsoft Excel, how we can do that effectively with my mentoring support, with the lifetime access of the content, then you can enroll into my training program. In that, I've covered each and every tool from the data analysis which we are using practically with the help of practical examples. You will also get the data file and also you will be getting the mentoring support from my side. That means at any point of time, if you need any help, you can also reach to me. So this is the link, vijaysabai.co/excel. You can reach there and you will learn everything about that program. Okay, now let's come back to this presentation. Yes, we had seen the fourth part, which is how to perform the data analysis in Microsoft Excel with the example. I've shown you one way ANOVA. The fifth point is learn data analysis in Excel with mentoring support. Yes, please click on this link, vijaysabai.co/excel, and you will get all the details related to this program. Now, if you are getting to enroll into this program in few hours, please use this coupon code mission 100K. So you will also get the 10% off on that mission 100K. Okay, now I think I have covered all the topics that we are going to discuss or we have planned today for the data analysis in Excel. Now it's time for your questions So if you're having any questions related to this data analysis in Microsoft Excel, please ask the questions. Please put that into the chat box, and I'm ready to take all your questions. Do you have questions, suggestions, or comments? Please write into the comment box. Okay, great. So I cannot see there are any questions into the chat box. Great. I'm sure that into this live streaming and free training, you got the clarity about, okay, what is the data analysis in Microsoft Excel, how much powerful it is. And we have also learned one of the graphical tools along with one of the statistical tool by using data analysis into Microsoft Excel. Thank you so much for your valuable time. And if you are having any questions later on, also you can reach out to me. Please take care and have a great evening. See you in the next live stream.